Well, boys and girls, who'd have thought just 3 and a bit years after starting this channel, this Football Manager channel, that we'd be celebrating hitting 50,000 subscribers. Thank you to every single one of you who's ever subscribed, watched one of my videos, liked, commented, shared, all that kind of stuff. This has been a wonderful team effort, and now there's 50,000 of us enjoying these enjoy might be a strong word, watching these Football Manager videos, and that seems like a thing that's worth celebrating, and we're going to celebrate the only way I know how. There's two ways. Way number one is got a couple of cans of Coca-Cola's finest, Coke Zero. It's been a while since I've had this on the channel. I try to limit my intake of this stuff these days, but you know, sometimes when there's need for celebration, you have to get the hard stuff out. And no water for me today. It's all about Coke Zero. One day they might come and sponsor the channel. They still haven't yet. They must owe me thousands in sponsorship over the years. Cheers to all of you. The other way, of course, as a YouTuber, that I know how to celebrate reaching a subscriber milestone is with a Q&A. So earlier in the week, yesterday, day before, depending on when I decide to release this video, earlier in the week, I headed over to the community page here on the channel and asked you for some questions, and we're going to answer. We're going to answer those questions now. We're not going to mess around. We're just going to get straight into it because there's loads of them. And because there's so many of them, disclaimer at the start, obviously there's no way I could possibly go through and answer all of them. So what I've done is I've ordered it according to the ones that were most liked by other people. So if you had a really popular question and it drifted to the top of the pile, it's more likely to be answered in the video. If your question hasn't been answered this time, 100,000's got to be on the horizon, hasn't it? When we hit 100,000, you might get your question answered then. But let's get started. So Nuno Neto says, could I really see myself as a manager in real life? Absolutely not. I would be a terrible manager in real life. I don't know anything about football in real life. Well, I mean, I watch it, but I don't know how to do training. I don't really know anything about tactics. I haven't played football myself for 18 years at this point, and I never played it at any kind of decent level anyway, so I know nothing. I would have no credibility in a dressing room or changing room. I don't even know where it's probably a changing room, isn't it? A dressing room sounds like something fancy that you do when you're in a play or something, but that's exactly why I would be a terrible real life football manager, because I don't even know the language, and football in general just seems a little bit laddie for me. I wouldn't want to be in an environment of talking about boobs and beer, and that's the impression I get from football in general, and I don't think that would really work for me. I'm not really a boobs and beer kind of chap. James McDuff says, how many hours do I have on Football Manager 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2019 on Steam? Let's have a look, shall we? So you want from 2016? Oh, that's very specific. Why are we starting there? They go all the way back to 2009 on Steam, but we'll answer the question as it was asked. So 2006. These are, by the way, because these are the years that I was creating content. That might be why you've asked those years. These are going to be much lower than probably what most of you have spent playing Football Manager over these same years, because ironically enough, I don't have as much time to play the game as I used to now that I play the game for my job and have to create videos on it. So 2016, I did 657 hours. 2017, 725 hours. I told you these were low. 2018, 1,118 hours. Can't you see when I went full time? And 2019 so far, 425 hours, which, I mean, that's insane for February. That puts us on course. What's that? 3 months in, we're on course for closing in on 2,000 hours, which seems mad. I need to play less of this game. Obviously, once one of the series finishes, I will be playing less of the game, and I imagine we'll end up somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 again for FM19, because as the game gets older, the daily videos will taper down a little bit. We'll eventually get back to the point we were at the end of FM18, where we're doing 5 videos a week. At the moment, or once we get back onto the full-time schedule, it's like 12 videos a week. That's not sustainable for a whole year. So the rate I'm going at the moment won't last forever. Michael says, what's the favourite player I've ever managed? Probably Vladislav Lazarov, the And if you haven't been around since pretty much the start of the channel, you might not know who he is, but he was my right back in the first non-league to legend, I think it was. So 4 games ago now, 3 years ago. And we signed him for Ipswich, and he got like 40 assists in a season, and he did it consistently. This was the year fullbacks were really overpowered, but we were playing a narrow diamond with fullbacks that really pushed on, and he was just a monster. I ended up taking him to Manchester City with me, and he never quite did the same at Manchester City, because the Manchester City transfer went through around about the time they patched the overpowered fullbacks, and it ruined him. But for the 4 or 5 seasons we had him at Ipswich, he was the greatest footballer in the history of the world. Edward asks, am I planning on doing any more Peterborough matchday vlogs? Maybe, if it's a big game or a particularly interesting game. I'm a season ticket holder again at Posh now. I haven't been a season ticket holder. This is the first season ticket I've had in about 5 years, probably. It's been a long time since I've been a season ticket holder. I did have a season ticket for like 20 plus years before that, from when I was like 8 years old, but haven't had one for about 5 years. So when I went to matches, I'd go to 2 or 3 a season, maybe a little bit more. And it was a special occasion when I went to a match. So it was worth vlogging. Whereas now, if I match day vlogged every Posh match, you'd be getting a match day vlog every couple of weeks, and they wouldn't be very different. They'd be me driving into Peterborough, parking up, going into the same ground, sitting in the same seat, and then moaning about the result. So I don't think they'd be that interesting. If the season starts to turn around a little bit, now we've got Fergie back at the helm, and we end up having a bit of a playoff push. Obviously, Wembley and stuff, it's a bit of a pipe dream, but obviously I'll vlog all that. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to match day vlog every match, or very many matches at all, because I just think it would be really samey, boring content. Platinum FM says, will I do more saves other than non-league to legend and home? Probably not. On FM19, obviously, on FM20, I'll be back with a bang. But I think the way we worked things last year worked perfectly for me for the shape of my year. Because there are probably some of you who don't know, this isn't my only YouTube channel. I also have a family vlog, which takes up a lot of my time, particularly in the summer. When the weather's good, we're out and about doing more family stuff. And obviously, when the kids are off school, I'm being dad as well. So I have less time for making videos. So the way we did it last year, where at the start of the game coming out, when it's dark, when it's winter, when everyone's at school, when there's nothing much going on in real life, I can sit out here in my garage, and yeah, this is the garage. You can see the garage behind me. I can sit out here in the garage for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, just churning out Football Manager videos. Life is good. I can do 2 series at a time. But as soon as school holidays hit, like we've had for the last week or 2 on the channel, and as soon as the sun comes out and the evenings are light and warm and we want to be out doing stuff, it becomes quite difficult to fit all of that in. So the way it worked last year was perfect. Non-league to legend finishing around about the end of the real life football season. And then last year it was back in the borough. This year it would be home, taking over and becoming the sort of Monday to Friday 4 p.m. slot, nothing at weekends, taking us through to the new game. It means we front load all the content when everyone's really interested in Football Manager. I'm making more videos on it. When less people are interested, I'm just finishing off a series for the real hardcore. Obviously, if we have really good runs in both series, which don't tell anyone, but I think we all know Football Manager 2019 is a bit easier than the recent games. If we've won the Champions League in both of them by June, then we'll stick an extra series in. We've done that in the past. We did Gunning for Glory, the Arsenal save a few years back. We've done the Milan mission in the past. So sometimes we finish early and slot in maybe a 40 or 50 episode series. But in an ideal world, for me, non-league to legend finishes April, May time with a Champions League win, and then home finishes like a week before FM20 with a Champions League win. That would be the dream. If I was writing the script, that's how the script would work, and it worked exactly like that last year, and it was perfect. Silence asks, will I ever play other games such as Fortnite? I do play other games. I host a gaming podcast every week. I play lots of games. I'm not going to play them here on the channel, though. I've been down that road a few times in the past, and you lot have voted with your views. And whenever I play anything that's not Football Manager, nobody cares, mainly probably because I'm rubbish at them. I'm not very good at other games. I love games. I've been a gamer all my life. I love video games. I am terrible at video games, and it's not fun to watch. So I don't make that content anymore. And Fortnite specifically, I've streamed it on Twitch a couple of times, but again, I've never had a victory royale in Fortnite. At probably 20, 25 goes of ass, probably in 20 or 25 attempts, and it's just not fun. I don't enjoy doing it. So yeah, it's very unlikely you'll ever see me play anything other than Football Manager again from now on. I think I've learnt my lesson from multiple attempts to introduce other games onto the channel. Linking into that question, Fun Time says, year after year you play Football Manager. What about the game has kept you excited and playing the game? Love your series. Well, I've been playing Football Manager since Championship Manager 2, which I think was back in 1993, 94, around about then. And I've played it obsessively ever since. And I think the thing that I love most about Football Manager and Championship Manager before it is the role-playing element. The fact that in addition to enjoying the mechanics of actually playing the game, it's all about telling stories in my head. The stuff that I do here on YouTube, like the house hunting, like the storytelling element of it, I did all that on my own, like a total loser, without anyone looking, because to me the role-playing side of it is 70-80% of the fun. If you try and play it without the role-playing element, it's just a spreadsheet, innit? And that's a bit boring. But because it allows you to live in that world and dream, and the imagination that it throws in, it's brilliant. It's the closest thing as you can get to reading a good book, but it's a book where you're influencing the story. It's brilliant. John says, have you ever thought of entering a beard contest? No, I don't think that would be fair on the other competitors. Matthew Higgs says, who is my first save with, and do I have any current personal saves? My first save, I mean, we are going back 25 years. It would have almost certainly been with Posh. Probably my first 10 or 12 saves were probably with Posh. And I probably used the editor, and I probably added myself to the database, and I loved it. Do I have personal saves? I haven't had a single personal save since I started doing YouTube 3 and a bit years ago. I don't have time for it. If I had time to play another save, I'd just make more videos, because these days I enjoy the video creation element of it just as much as actually playing the game. So it would feel a little bit empty for me now playing it without also creating content on it, I think. And plus, it's my job now, so I don't really... Do many people go and do their job in the day and then go home and do the same thing at night for fun? I used to be a financial advisor, and that was the time in my life when my money was the worst managed ever in my personal life, because I was managing money all day at work. Last thing I wanted to do was come home and balance my checkbook. Mac Vlog says, how easy was it for me to understand the game? I'm a failed FM18 and 19 player. The comments section would tell you so am I. But for me, because I go all the way back to Championship Manager 2, it's relatively easy for me to understand the game, because it was very, very bare bones and basic when I started, and I've just gone through tiny little incremental bits layered on year after year after year after year. I think if I was coming to FM19 having never played a Football Manager game before, I'd be terrified, even with the new tutorials, because there's so much depth to it. But for someone who's been playing it since it was no graphics, not even a 2D match engine, just a little text box at the bottom of the screen, and it was very much a case of you just signed players, picked a team, and then got your result, pretty much. There wasn't any more depth to it than that, and that was easy to understand. And then each bit that's added on each year, if I'm interested in it, I'd learn about it. That's why I've not learned at all about training this year, because no matter how good the new training system is, still isn't ever going to interest me. It's training. If I wanted to do training, I'd go to the gym myself. Obviously, I don't do that. Evan asks, what feature would I like to see added to FM? I've been saying this for 15 years. Picture in picture. When you've got a major game going on at the end of the season, I want to watch the game that I'm managing, but in the corner of the screen, I also want to be able to watch the other game that's going to influence how things turn out for us. They do it on TV. I'd love for them to do it in Football Manager. It would be epic. Nathan Smith wants to know if he can have a copy of Football Manager. Nathan, absolutely you can. If you head to 2game.com, use discount code LOLLUJO, you get 10% off. Prime Clan says, what's the most fun save I've ever done? Doesn't have to be from YouTube. Probably the most fun. I mean, Non-League to Legend every year is lots of fun. I love doing that. But the origins of Non-League to Legend actually go back about 10 years now. And I did a save that I documented in blog form on the Sports Interactive forums in the LLM Lower League Manager sub-forum that doesn't even exist anymore, so you can't go and find this to check that it exists. But I went on there, they had a random team picker tool. I used the random team picker. It gave me some obscure Swiss team. Can't even remember what the name of the team was now. I do remember I had a player called David Lebrun, who was a right midfielder who I converted to a central midfielder, and he was a star for me in Switzerland. Never left. Never got an international call-up. Probably wasn't that much of a star. But I spent 7 seasons toiling in mid-table in the Swiss leagues before Ebbsfleet offered me a job in the conference. I mean, that shows how well I was doing in Switzerland. That was the next job I got offered, Ebbsfleet in the conference. And probably with a couple of other moves along the way, I ended up at Posh just as they'd been relegated into League Two. But there was a superstar player called Ben Smythe, who was a left winger. See, this is how much I love this save. I can still remember these kind of details. He came through the Posh youth team. He was about 21 at the time, left winger, built the team around him in League Two, and he was my captain when we won the Champions League 12 seasons later, I think. And I just, by reaching Posh the long way round rather than just starting with them, still ended up where I would always usually start anyway, but went on the little journeyman bit beforehand, got to the point where they were all regens. Ben Smythe was my hero, and it was awesome the way we climbed through the leagues and eventually won the lot. It was brilliant. Loved that save. And I wish the LLM forum still existed, because it was all documented on there season by season. You could see it happening. And my username on there was LOLLUJO as well, so it would have been easy to find, but it doesn't exist anymore. I've looked. The one I did the next season is still on there, but that wasn't as good and stopped really early on, because it just wasn't the same after that. Ethan wants to know who my favourite ever Posh player is. George Boyd. Not just my favourite ever Posh player, he's the best footballer of all time. SJ wants to know what's my favourite FPS game. Don't have one, don't like shooter games. Favourite Premier League teams. Don't have one, don't like the Premier League. Also, how am I doing? I'm doing good, SJ, thank you for asking. Frosty wants to know, would I ever start an in real life team? Don't know. How many subscribers did Spencer have when he started #United? Because, you know, this is a pretty sexy shirt, and I could see that existing for real. But I think I probably need more than 50,000 people to get excited about it. Ask me again when I've got 1 million subscribers and home might become a real thing. The place to put the pitch is exactly where I told you it was in the video. Nuno Neto says, was I good at playing football? No, I was not. James McDuff asks, what is my favourite Football Manager game? He thinks 2019. James, you're correct. The best Football Manager game is always, without fail, the most recent one. All the way from Championship Manager 2, all the way through. I don't get these people who look back with their rose-tinted glasses with their nostalgia saying CM97, 98 or CMO 102 or FM19. I don't know which are the ones people adore. I think what people are actually remembering is when they had a really fun save, because the actual game itself, without fail for 25 years, has gotten better every single year. Every year, the new one is the best game of all time. Ollie Pertoft says, love your vids. I want to know, how do you have the time to take such good care of your family, film and edit a daily vlog, film and edit 2 Football Manager videos, and not be stressed out of your mind? Other YouTubers struggle to make a video a week. Keep up the good work, don't ever change. Who says I'm not stressed out of my mind? Firstly, I don't get that YouTubers not being able to do 1 video a week thing. That's just lazy. It's not that hard to make a YouTube video. Okay, if you're making music videos or animations or comedy sketches that involve a lot of writing and rehearsing and preparation and all that stuff, okay, I get it. That might be quite a heavy workload. But certainly if you're making Football Manager videos or vlogs, which are the 2 things that I do, I don't know how anybody could struggle to make 1 a day, let alone 1 a week. And like Ollie says, I do 2, when I'm on form, 2 Football Manager videos and 1 vlog a day. And there's no secret to it. You know, it's my full-time job, and I treat it like a full-time job. So I get up 7 o'clock in the morning, get the kids ready and out of the house, get myself ready and out of the house, out here into the garage. I'm sat at this desk at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I finish work at 5 o'clock. And then in the evenings, I'll play the game to get through to the point where I can make the next day's videos. So I'll come out here first thing in the morning, usually record both videos there and then, edit them, get them rendering. While they're rendering, I'll be editing the previous day's vlog, or the vlog that comes out that day of the previous day, get that rendering. By the time that's rendering, usually the first Football Manager video is rendered, so I can get that uploading. And then once everything's uploading, I'll go out and do something for the vlog, whatever that might be. And then by the time I get back, everything's ready for me to slap on a thumbnail, get the descriptions done, schedule them for release. It's not hard if you treat it like a full-time job. Now, I know that a lot of YouTubers, certainly the vast majority of Football Manager YouTubers, it's not their full-time job. So obviously they can't do it that way. Fully get that. And certainly what I do now is a million times easier than when I was doing it when I did have a job. Because don't forget, there was that 9-month period or so where I was still working full-time as a teacher, still releasing daily Football Manager videos, and I'd started the vlog. And looking back, I don't know how I did that, but I did it for 9 months, because for 7 of those 9 months, I knew I was leaving teaching and I had to build this up to be a replacement income. So sometimes, I guess, desperation focuses your mind into hard work. And I've never been afraid of hard work. I love what I do. I have the best job in the world. And I'm happy sat out here making videos all day, every day. And I wouldn't want to do less and have to go and do something else to make my money instead, because nothing else is as good as this. This is brilliant. Everybody Hates Chris says, you've said a few times that I've seen that you don't watch real football or know much about it. What's the reason for that? What's the reason you play Football Manager, given your lack of interest in the actual sport? Right, I know we're towards the end of the video, so a lot of people won't still be watching now, but let's try and kill this myth off now. It's not that I have a lack of interest in football. I love football. Like I said before, I've spent the vast majority of my life as a Peterborough United season ticket holder. I love football. I used to watch the Premier League, but then the Premier League got a bit rotten and horrible. Around about I started to sour towards it when Abramovich bought Chelsea, and they went from being this mediocre mid-table team to, oh look, we're going to buy the Premier League. And I thought, okay, that's a bit, kind of spoils it a little bit, doesn't it? And I was too young to see that had happened with Blackburn 10 years before, because I think I probably would have been put off with Blackburn when they did the same thing. But Chelsea did it, and I was like, don't really like that. And then Manchester City did it as well. And the moment Manchester City got their takeover and started throwing cash around, I just thought, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not interested in the Premier League anymore. I'm not interested in the Champions League, not interested in top level football at all, because all it is a who's got the biggest bank balance competition, and that's not a sport. That's really dull. I don't want to watch that. I know Leicester are an example of an exception, but by and large, you could gamble on the winner of the Premier League each year by doing an each way bet on the 3 richest clubs. Just find out which are the 3 clubs with the biggest bank balances, bet on each of them to finish top 4. You're going to make a profit there, because that's all it takes. You just have to be the richest club, and that's really boring. I prefer the sport further down. When I went to Nuneaton last year for the day, it was brilliant. Non-league football, outstanding. When I went to St Albans earlier in the year, brilliant day out. And going to Posh is not so much this season, but going to Posh matches when we're playing well is lots of fun. I love football. I used to love playing it. I enjoy watching football at the level that I enjoy watching it at, but I'm not interested in the accountancy with shin pads that is the Premier League. Store Cattle asks, do I have a girlfriend? Do I plan to get married and have children? And do I see myself supporting my family with FM YouTube job, or will I have to find a real job? Store Cattle, I suggest you go and check out my family vlog. The link is down in the description. It's called The Chapman Family. We're already a family of 5 plus a dog, and we as a family support ourselves through YouTube. So yeah, I've got kids. My oldest daughter is 17. That shows how old I am. And yeah, I don't need a real job. This supports the family rather nicely. Don't get me wrong, I'm not rich, but when I say rather nicely, it means we're not like on the breadline. We're doing all right. I can still afford toys and comics. So that to me means financial success. Last question, Alistair Bakes says, what are my aspirations with YouTube? I have a couple, obviously, because I have a couple of different channels. On this channel, my big goal, now we've hit 50,000, I'd hope to be the fastest ever Football Manager YouTuber to hit 50,000 subscribers. But it's actually, because I track this stuff, because I'm a nerd, it's actually taken me about 3 weeks longer than it took Dr. Benji, I think. So not quite on course with tracking his speed of growth. But as far as I'm concerned now, I look upwards at where people's subscriber levels are and think this feels like a fair fight. Let's race to 100,000, and I want to be the first purely Football Manager YouTuber to hit 100,000 subscribers. Now I know there are other YouTubers who make Football Manager content who already have more than that, but they all got there with FIFA. You know, I don't play FIFA. This is a Football Manager channel. I want to be the first Football Manager only channel to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and then see where it takes me. Obviously, I've got a lot of catching up to do on Work the Space and Dr. Benji and Golden FM, who I think are the three who are ahead of me. But I'm up for the race. I want to get there and we'll see, I guess. But that's my big goal. Want to be the first. If I'm not the first, I want to get there. I want the YouTube plaque thing with LOLLUJO written on it, because I think that would be a really cool thing to have as a Football Manager channel, to be able to say I got 100,000 subscribers. YouTube in general, I want the pretty diamond platinum-y one for 10 million subscribers. Let's get the vlog to 10 million. The sky's the limit with the vlog. You know, I said before how YouTube allows me to, I mean, I'm probably slightly poorer now than I was when I was a teacher, but it's not by a huge amount. I'm earning a decent full-time income from across the two channels being a YouTuber. Obviously, it would be lovely, though, to live in a mansion and go away on my yacht and start home because we've got 1 million subscribers and £1 million in the bank, and why not start a football team? I dream a lot, but yeah, the big aspiration right now on this channel is the race is on. I want to be the first to get 100,000 subscribers. So if for some reason you're watching this and you haven't already subscribed, now's the time. Or you could like all start a second account and subscribe again, and we'll get there today. If YouTube are watching, that was a joke. It was a joke. If YouTube are not watching, please, absolutely everybody do that, because then we can get there today. YouTube, that was a joke again. Learn what's a joke and what's not. But we are going to end things there because this has gone on longer. I thought let's do a nice tight 10 or 12 minute Q&A. Looking at my clock now, I've been going over half an hour. Hopefully Future Kev edits it down a little bit, because otherwise no one is still watching at this point. If you are still watching at this point, give us a wave down in the comments so I know you made it to the end. Otherwise, just once again, thank you for the support over the last 3 years, 4 months-ish since we started this channel with that first Football Manager video. That was awful. But, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere. And it's been a mad few years. When I made that first video, I did not expect 3 years later to be doing a 50,000 subscriber Q&A, and it having been my full-time job for over a year at this point. It's a bit mad how the last 3 years have gone, and I've got you lot to thank for that. So thank you. But I need to go make some Football Manager videos now, because if I don't do it now, you ain't getting any over the weekend, because I'm a little bit behind. So better crack on with that. If you have enjoyed this Q&A, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and of course to get us closer to the next Q&A, which, I don't know, do we do that at 75? Do we wait for 100? We'll see. There'll be another Q&A, the next big milestone. And thank you very much for watching.